Last time we have studied the first type of momentum transfer vacuum pump. It was molecular drag pump. So today we are going to study the second type of momentum transfer pump. It is turbomolecular pump. So turbomolecular pump, it is a mechanical ultra high vacuum pump. Mechanical means there are driven parts. So you can see the actual mechanism of this turbomolecular pump. So it is shown in this particular diagram. So there are alternate pairs of rotor and stator blades. So you can see this blue one, it is rotor blade, and this red one, it is stator blade. So like this, there are multiple stages of this rotor and stator blades. So each rotor stator pair of circular blade rows forms one stage. So this is the first stage, second stage, third stage, and so on. There can be multiple stages of the rotor and stator blades. Now these rotor blades, all they are connected together to a shaft. You can see this shaft, and it is rotated with a very high velocity of the order of 60,000 rpm. So this is a very high speed. Therefore turbo, the name turbo, so just like a turbo engine, so which is rotating with a very high speed, so therefore it is called as a turbomolecular pump. So these high speed rotor blades, when they are rotating here with a very high speed, and suppose this chamber pipe is connected to this turbomolecular pump, so air molecules or whatever the gas present inside the chamber, they are entering into this turbomolecular pump. So at the first stage they will collide with these rotor blades. Suppose this is the first gas molecule, it collides with this particular rotor blade, and it will be reflected with a very high velocity to the stator blade. So it will make certain angles. So you can see the angles of these rotor blades and the stator blade, they are exactly opposite, so that once the molecule is struck by the rotor blade with a very high velocity, so it will incident on the stator blade, making such an angle that further it will be reflected back to the next stage of the rotor stator pair. So next stage again it will be incident on to the rotor blade, which is rotating with a very high velocity. So you can see here the next rotor blade, and subsequently this gas molecule will travel in the downward direction. So at each stage you can see the gas which is coming from this side of the chamber, which we want to evacuate. So this gas will be further compressed and compressed and compressed, and further it will be thrown out towards this backing pump. So this turbomolecular pump, it actually operates in the molecular flow regime. Molecular flow regime, you know that in the earlier module, second module in vacuum physics, you know that you have studied these two regimes, the viscous flow regime and molecular flow regime. So viscous flow regime, it is slightly very near to the atmospheric pressure, where the gas molecules are randomly in motion. Therefore we call it as a viscous flow regime. So viscous force is very much active there. But in the molecular flow regime, if you decrease the pressure, that means the mean free path between the molecules that will increase. Therefore there will be less collision, so viscous force will be less in that particular case. So that is what the molecular flow regime. So this turbomolecular pump, that should be operated in the molecular flow regime. That means here initially you will need to maintain slightly lower pressure here in the chamber. So that is possible by applying the backing pump. So turbomolecular pump need the use of backing pump here. Again, these gas molecules, you can see here at the discharge point, they cannot be directly thrown to the atmosphere, against the atmosphere. So this is because here the gas is compressed, and this is because of the mechanically driven rotor blades. So if you try to throw them against the atmospheric pressure, that will further utilize lot of energy. So instead of that, they are thrown into slightly lower pressure that is created by the backing pump. So backing pump, suitable backing pump is used in this particular case. So you can see here this system works like a compressor that puts energy into the gas. That means here this mechanical energy, where we are continuously rotating these rotors, that will be imparted to the gas molecules. So that means we are putting the energy into the gas. So the gas captured by upper stage will be pushed to the lower stages successively and compressed to the level, so that it is given to the 4 vacuum pump. 4 vacuum pump is the backing pump. Now the turbomolecular pump, since the rotor blade, they are rotating with a very high speed as compared to the earlier type momentum transfer pump which we have studied, that is molecular drag pump, they are able to produce slightly higher level of vacuum. So about 10 raised to minus 11 millibar range of the vacuum can be created if you are using it along with the suitable backing pump. So backing pump is necessary here to achieve such high level of vacuum. So the circumferential velocity of these particular blades, that is very important here. So the rotor speed, if it is very high, then definitely the circumferential velocity of this rotor blade, that will be of the order of magnitude of the average thermal velocity of the molecules which are to be pumped. So different gas molecules, they have a different value of average thermal velocity. For example, here hydrogen has the highest average thermal velocity of the order of 1700 meter per second. So like this, different gases have different average thermal velocity. Now if your the rotor blade, circumferential velocity of this rotor blade, it is greater than that of the average thermal velocity of the particular gas molecule, then the pumping will become efficient. So for most of the gases, the rotor speed is so maintained that for most of the gas molecules, this velocity, circumferential velocity of the blade, it is greater as compared to the average thermal velocity of the gas molecule. And for this, actually different type of motors are required. So the rotor shaft is directly driven by a medium frequency type of motor. Now the one important feature of this turbomolecular pump is that it has greater active area for pumping as compared to the earlier type that we have studied, that is molecular drag pump. So the active area is present inside the this mechanism, which is larger as compared to molecular drag pump. Now many turbomolecular pump include a molecular drag stage at the end of the pump to increase acceptable backing pressure. So sometimes a hybrid system is nowadays also is in practice to create a high ultimate pressure. So turbomolecular pump and at this particular stage molecular drag pump, they are combinedly used to achieve high ultimate pressure. So the use of molecular drag pump can give the turbomolecular pump a suitable level of backing pressure. Now one difficulty is there, since in turbomolecular pump the rotor blades, they are rotated with a very high velocity. So high rotational speed, they are putting lot of strain on the shaft bearings here. So lot of wear and tear is involved, lot of heat will be generated. So care should be taken here. Most of the manufacturers now offer lightweight ceramic ball bearings with grease lubrication. But whenever lubricant come into picture, there are a possibility, as we have seen, backstreaming. So these molecules of the grease or oil, whatever the lubricant used, they can backstream into the chamber, and so this is the main threat here. But in a recently manufacturers have begun offering magnetically levitated bearings. So these are most modern techniques. So there is no physical contact of the shaft. So in this particular case, either permanent magnets or a combination of permanent and dynamic magnetic fields, they are used, supporting the shaft without contact. So levitating means they are having slight distance between this shaft and the magnetic field, like a permanent magnet. So magnetically levitated pumps include non-contact bearing. Therefore, they result in a turbo pump that has true zero oil vapor backstreaming. So no lubricant required, therefore zero backstreaming. And there is no wear and tear involved in this particular case. Uh, One more feature of turbomolecular pump is that they are more efficient for heavy gas molecules. So for heavy gas molecules, as you know, the average thermal velocity is slightly lower value, and therefore with a very high velocity of the blades, rotor blades, definitely the pumping will be more efficient. But the major problem is with the lightweight molecules like hydrogen. So hydrogen with the highest thermal molecular speed is therefore the most difficult gas to pump at high pressure ratio. So hydrogen, as you know, it is a light molecule and lightweight molecule, and therefore its average thermal velocity is very large, about 1700 meter per second. And to achieve the rotor blade velocity comparable to this average thermal velocity of hydrogen, it is quite difficult. You cannot increase the rotor speed too much high, and therefore the pumping of hydrogen, lightweight molecule hydrogen, is difficult. That is, you can say, a limitation of this turbomolecular pump. This is a typical performance characteristics of a turbomolecular pump. You can see here. This turbomolecular pump, pumping speed and the inlet pressure graph are shown over here for two different gas molecules, hydrogen and nitrogen. So you can see clearly, as the vacuum level is increasing, that means pressure is decreasing. So initially the pumping speed is increasing. You can see the pumping speed is increasing for both hydrogen and nitrogen. But if you compare the pumping speed for hydrogen and nitrogen, nitrogen has definitely higher pumping speed. For nitrogen, turbomolecular pump has higher pumping speed, whereas for hydrogen it is lower. So the reason just we have discussed here. So over a very large range of the pressure, you can say the pumping speed is constant, but later on at higher pressures, at higher level of vacuum, again this pumping speed for hydrogen is decreasing, whereas for nitrogen it is constant over a large range of pressure. There is one typical disadvantage or drawback, you can say, related to this turbomolecular pump. So since the rotor blades, they are moving with a very high velocity, a lot of noise, vibrations are involved in case of turbomolecular pump, and there may be possibility in case of slight mechanical deviation of the positions of the rotor or stator blade, there can be collision among them, and with such a very high velocity collision, the rotor stator collision can damage this turbomolecular pump. If you compare one more differentiating parameter, you can see here, if you compare it with molecular drag pump, so the molecular drag pumps and turbo pumps, the main difference is that a drag pump, that means molecular drag pump, will start pumping at a slightly higher inlet pressure. So for both of them, the starting pressure should be in a molecular region, or gas flow should be in a molecular region, but molecular drag pump can slightly work at a higher pressure. So that is just a differentiating point between this particular two types of molecules.